Welcome, everyone, to the Beacon of Light podcast this evening. I am so excited to have Miss Eva Vennari with us here tonight. And the exciting thing that we're going to talk about tonight is something that's truly amazing. The beauty that you have within yourself. We're going to discuss all about this. But before we start talking to her, let's jump into this.
I'm April Tribe Juke. Welcome to the Beacon of Light podcast. I believe we are all made with light, and light is hope. This podcast brings authors who write stories of hope to all of you. Your journey to be inspired and amplified by these stories starts now.
And we are back. Welcome, Eva. We are so excited to have you here this evening. And tell us a little bit about yourself.
Thanks. Yeah, thank you for having me, April. This is a real pleasure to be able to be here with you. And about myself, well, I live out of Los Angeles, and I've been born and raised here, which is an anomaly. And I'm a holistic health practitioner. Born out of necessity, I was a hot mess and became extremely burned out after raising my girls, who are now in their mid-20s, on my own, and being the one who brought home the bacon. So that's a little bit about me.
Right. That whole concept of when we were raising kids and as a lone parent or a single parent, it's really challenging. Well, it looks like you have done a great job, and I'm happy to hear that your girls now in their 20s are most likely thriving. Am I taking a guess at that? Okay.
It's a good guess. Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's awesome. And so again, as we share this light out to you as a holistic healer, there's many things that I think along a journey like that you usually have a lot of self-discovery that's happening. So share a little bit about your discovery of how this whole health and holistic, I would say, unity came for yourself.
Well, it like I mentioned, it was just a necessity for me because I felt very strongly about not taking medications. I saw too many people be diagnosed with something and be told, you have to take this medication now for the rest of your life. And for me, that just didn't seem like something that should happen. And especially at such a young age, I started being not well in my teen years, was told I was infertile. I had been diagnosed with autoimmune disorder, went through perimenopause at a very young age. 28 is not supposed to be your midlife. And so there were so many things that brought me to this place of understanding I could end up on a lot of medications if I decided to let the doctors guide my healthcare. And I just had this idea in the back of my head that said, if I give my body what it needs, I bet it could heal itself, which is very Eastern. That's something very widely accepted in the Eastern traditions. And it's not well met with doctors. And I went through many doctors and fired them who just would not have a conversation with me about natural remedies for my chronic fatigue, my anxiety, my insomnia. This is back when burnout was not the word that was accepted by doctors. Now it's a medical dictionary item, and you're welcome, because I was very stubborn to get that idea that we do get burned out. So anyways, that kind of was my resolution. No drugs for me. I wanted to reverse what was wrong, because it wasn't cancer. It wasn't heart disease. It wasn't anything extremely serious, but I did feel like I was slowly dying. And I wanted the solution. So it took me 16 years of my stubbornness applied to, I'm going to find the answer, and I'm not going to take drugs to do it. And that's how it started.
Wow, amazing. The fortitude to continue for 16 years until finding, I'm sure it was probably a combination of answers, not probably one silver bullet. And that's usually how the journeys begin. And I think because there's not just the one, it takes a myriad of things, probably nutrition, and then the correct amount of sunlight, sunshine, vitamin D, right? These natural things that happen. And when we can get kind of the right, I'd say, balance of things, did you start to see healing happen for yourself?
Well, yeah, and here's the crazy things. The things that we would normally do, like getting sunlight, didn't yield the same results. Getting chiropractic adjustments didn't stick. Having what a massage. Most people would say, "Oh, massage is so fantastic. It's great. It feels good." Right? And for me, it just didn't give any lasting relief. And that's what happens when a body starts to deplete and no longer has the ability to hold energy. It can't even absorb and utilize that wonderful vitamin D from the sun. So I had a very resistant body. And as I've become a practitioner, it's most people. And so resistance has to be dealt with at a cortisol level. So we need to reduce the body's overall stress, which is not the widely known, I have a lot of stress in my life, so therefore I must have stress in my body. And I like to use this comment, stress is not that your husband knows about your boyfriend. I call that drama. Yeah, stress is the relationship of minerals in your body and the ability for them to meet each other's needs. And that, when it's off, the stress gets higher and higher and higher in the body. We become more toxic. Our immune systems become more suppressed. And we have less energy overall for just the day-to-day things. I know a lot of people who, when they're done at the end of getting ready in the morning for their day, they're tired and they're ready for a nap. So this is becoming more and more common.
Right. And so with your book, Owning Your Beauty, it said that you definitely went on a journey for this healing process. So share with us within the book, what are some, are they tips? Is it your story? Is it a combination? Share with us a little bit about how the book is laid out.
Yeah, it starts with my story, and I lay it all out there because if I'm not completely open about what I went through, then you're not going to hear or recognize your own story possibly and get the help. Thinking, oh gosh, I have this XYZ problem. Eva, it runs in my family. You have no idea. It's never going to go away. And I'm going to give you, if you listen to the story, I'm going to give you reason to believe that you can repair it. So I take my journey, which was a two-pronged journey. I decided to go and seek those doctors. Remember, I said I fired 10 of them, and that took a little while. So you go doctor to doctor, they draw your blood, they diagnose, they tell you what they think is wrong with you, or they say things like, it's all in your head. So that was the one approach, was to do that and to at least try to eliminate serious illness, which was great. I did that. The other approach was, well, what do I do in the meantime to make myself at least look better? If I can't feel better, I need to look better. And because of so many reasons, aren't we? We're judged, whether we want to believe that or not, by how we look in our first impressions. And when you're in business, you have to look like you're good. And at the time, I was an architectural rep. If you don't know what that is, that's okay. It's just, the idea is it's very designer driven, and those people, they expect you to look like $1 million. So anyways, when you're not feeling good, you tend to not look good. So I would seek out all the things that I needed to help with the look of my skin. So for example, if you have a mineral imbalance, then your skin could look off in color, or you could end up with acne, or you could have hair growth where you don't want it. There's all kinds of things that are related to minerals that I didn't know. And the book takes those two distinct areas, minerals, and draws the connection to, if you're lacking a mineral, or if you are toxic in nutrient, then it will show up. And I tell you how it will show up, so you can recognize something and know that there is a way out.
That's really very helpful. I think for the most part, especially as we age, we start to notice different things. And instead of just accepting, well, that's going to happen when we get old,
Yeah.
that's partly there as a recognition, but that doesn't mean you have to accept and just stay there. There are ways to, help you feel better. So, like, are you saying midlife? Sorry, just expect the next 40 years like that. No, I don't want to accept that. So,
Well, yeah, exactly. And so when I started to feel this way in my 20s, and I remember my dad very distinctly saying, Eva, you are far too young to be this sick. And I said, thank you, not helpful. However, at least it's being recognized. Yeah. So I was getting those ailments and feeling poorly much earlier than what was acceptable, even by social standards. And what I'm here to say is stop accepting it at any age. Feeling off is not normal. It is just common.
right. And so when we have that feeling, what would you suggest? Where would you suggest the first place we should start to look? Because now it it feels like there are there's so much information for good or ill, but where do we even start? How do I know if I have a mineral deficiency? I mean, I'm looking like this and I'm feeling like that. Is it minerals? Is it not? Is there a test? Like
Yes.
where do we start?
Where do we start? So if you've already ruled out the serious stuff, and I mean, had gone to the doctor and he's told you or she's told you, it's all in your head. I take that as good news. So in what I offer in mineral balancing, it can be done from anywhere in the world. So I have a practice that is global, from Peru to Dubai, I like to say, and that's true. And I take a little snippet of your hair and it goes to a lab to be digested and broken down. And from that, I can see how your body is working for you. What's your metabolism? How well are you creating new cells? What's going on with your glands? Are the hormones being created by your glands being absorbed, or are they resisting absorption? And I mentioned the word resistance earlier. So a lot of people are in a huge state of stress, but they don't know quite what to take, and they end up in what I call supplement roulette, where they're guessing what to take, or they take the word of their cousin at Thanksgiving dinner who says, "Oh, I know what you need." They haven't seen, they don't have no idea. So not all supplements are good for everyone all the time. I take the guesswork out of that.
That's wonderful to hear, because I think there is I would say we are very logical and smart people, and we can be aware of things, and it's just kind of knowing where to start. And I think that sounds really good. That seems really sound. Taking a piece of hair, it feels like, well, that's a composition of myself, so she should be able to see more than, like you said, the guests at the Thanksgiving table. Try this, try that, shake it with this, and it'll be perfect, right? There's also a thing I think you listen to is your gut, right? That
Mhm.
gut is instinctually there for a reason. So give it a start. And as you're guided to know where to go, I'm sure it becomes a rocky journey, right? I mean, just recently, I'm starting to look at the fact that maybe I'm going to need to have some reader glasses. Okay, that's a little bit changed. That's a little bit different. So now I start researching and things, and wow, it was like, no, you can just take this pill and your eyesight well, oh, wow, okay. Like, so I'm just like getting bombarded, right? As soon as you click on something, whew, you get stuffed with a whole bunch of things in the social media feed starts to, just bombard you, and you're thinking, I can see why this simple question of if I need readers or not has now become like a full medical thing. And I'm like, I don't know how comfortable I am of taking a pill for my, I, like, that's myself personally. I caused pause on that and said, well, maybe I'll just try a set of glasses for a minute and then keep researching, because now I can read a little bit more about things. But it's just interesting because I don't want to rule out, but I have a tendency to, let's try on the social things or the natural, like on a first base, and if things aren't working, let's go deeper, but kind of have a working partnership with things, as opposed to this is bad, only this good. It seems like you can pull I don't know if the word blend or balance, which one is better, which one you would, prefer. But in your book, Owning Your Beauty, that seems like the accountability, responsibility, and ownership, acceptance of that feels like it feels like I have some control or say in something. So when people come to you and say, Eva, help, how do they find you? What happens first?
They usually find me by listening to and watching podcasts or television shows and seeing me and hearing my story. And they hear a little bit of their own issues in what I share, and they think possibly I could have the answer. And I often say I help people who are high performers take the guesswork out of reversing burnout after they've hit their head against a brick wall and found failure everywhere else they've looked. I'm usually the last place until they find a solution. And to your point, I remember a time when I put into Google search a long time ago, alternative medicine, because I knew I didn't want medication. And the hits that came back at that time, more than 20 years ago, was well into the hundreds of thousands, and now it's more. So how do you manage and meander through the myriad of options? And that's part of my job, is to say, all right, I'll give you a way to treat your body in a holistic manner. And as your body starts to heal, in different areas will heal at different times, you may need a different modality, and that could be chiropractic. It could be acupuncture or acupressure, or it could be hydrocolonic therapy, or it could, and so all of those things, they go from being a guesswork of, I don't know if I should do this, but maybe I should just do a smattering. It goes from that to options only when the need arises. So you learn how to use alternative medicine resources. In addition to, now you become and you learn how to discern for yourself and what you need to do when and next, and become the leader in your own healthcare team. And that's much more empowering than just, oh, I went to the doctor and they said there was nothing wrong with me. I'm giving up.
Yeah, I love that idea that you are in charge and you're the first step in the team. After all, it is your body. And
Yes.
what you're doing is hiring others, hiring you, hiring ways to know what to do to care for your body. As far as I know, you get one. Am I wrong in
Yep.
that? Only get one?
Yeah, you
Okay.
don't get a replacement at 90.
So toss that plan. So if you get the one, maybe you need to contact Eva sooner than later. And I love discussing this right now, where we're right here in the spring, where we're feeling this idea and energy and hope. Things are starting to blossom and bloom, and there's just something about spring that I feel like makes me want to just become or listen better to what I might have ignored. It might have been a long, hard winter with a lot of stress. It might have been something. And so the changeover for me, when that sun, the rays feel warm again, even though the air is still chilly. I'm up here in the mountains, but the sun in that coaxing warm, like, I'm coming back. Don't worry, I'm coming back. And you just feel the sense of just love. We set up the trampoline just recently for the kids after this long, hard winter. I think I lost them for 4 hours. I'm like, where are they? Oh, they're still outside, just bouncing away, which was fantastic. And they came back in. They were like, Mom, wow, I've forgotten what this and this feels like. And I'm like, you're like 8 and 9, and you're okay. Good. I'm glad you can get back out there more and more. And they've already made plans of, we're going to do 24-hour challenges out there on the trampoline. We want to just be out. And my one son, and be with the fresh air.
Oh.
I'm like, are you selling? What are you selling to me, honey?
Yeah.
This is great. But the idea is just that change, something new, and I feel like this might be a great opportunity for many people. And the idea of owning your own beauty is something fantastic. So if so now we feel like, okay, Eva's helping us. They've got the DNA or the hair sampling back. Is it charts that you look at? What do we get, after we do something like that? Does it become coaching? Like share a little bit, I'm sorry, a little bit of that process.
Yeah, and it's a conversation. So I'll send you like here, fill out this form, and then from that, I'm able to provide you information. So once the laboratory result comes back, I'm going to go over it with you and make sense of your symptoms. And so we get on a call where I get to share the screen and you get to ask questions. It's a long consultation. I'll sit on the phone or on the internet with someone for about an hour and a half. And we go through and make sense of things to the point where at the end of it, the response is usually, wow, I always knew something was off, but you're the first person to put their finger on it and show me not only what was wrong, but what to do about it. And so you get a plan forward. We go over your food, we audit your diet, we create a personalized supplement program. I show you how to start it. You receive more information than you bargained for. So you have breeding material that you can use to, to put yourself to sleep if you want, but it's really good information. And you get out of the program whatever you put in it. And that's the thing, is we can start and meet you wherever you are. If you're not eating 3 meals a day or even eating regularly, we start there first. If you're not drinking enough water, well, we start there too. And then we build on it. So it's a very easy conversation about what it is that you're willing to do, if it's going to work for you because of your own sensibilities. If you apply yourself, it works. That's what I know. And it's not immediate. This is not work like medications where they take a couple of days or weeks to kick in. This can take, if you really have adrenal burnout, it can take up to 3 years, not to feel better, but to feel more energy than you probably have ever experienced before, to the point where you're going to ask me, what do I do with all this energy?
And I'm sure you probably have a long list. Well, here's a charity that needs help. Here's something.
I have a lot of hobbies now, more than I did before, including flying planes, and I do all kinds of things.
Wonderful. I hope this is giving people out there a lot of hope and some excitement to know, there is hope. Things are not lost and hopeless. And that is why we invited Eva on here today, because that beacon of light where we can reach out and help somebody who might be in a health crisis and not know what to do and have checked off so many things with the doctor. And there's a little thing here, but not enough to really give a full diagnosis there. And this number's off, but again, not enough to make us feel like, whoa, something really, bad is happening. And you're just looking at all of these things like, this looks like blah to me. And that's what I'm feeling. Help, right? There's just something more that can happen. And I love the fact of looking at something with results and having the consultation really can help. So in that owning your beauty, does this also help? I know you mentioned earlier skin, hair, nails. Share a little bit about that.
So a lot of times we are going to get our nails done because they don't grow. They don't grow past a certain length, or they grow crooked, or they have ridges in them, or they look funny when they do grow out. And all of those are signs and symptoms of different imbalances in the body. So every time you go to the nail salon and you get those gels put on, you're covering up your ability to see what's going on in your body. So that's just a little something. One thing I learned much too late in life, I color my hair. I've been coloring my hair since I was a teenager. But this right here at the front, if you go gray in your early 20s, right there at the top middle, that's a thyroid condition. No one told me that. So you can go ahead and cover your grays, but just know that what's underneath it is your body communicating with you. And that's how I put the two worlds together. The beauty of going after, I need to look my age, or I need to look better, or I need to, at least not look gray in my skin, to how can I solve this long term?
Amazing, wonderful. And so I'm hoping everyone out there kind of can see and feel that there is something of great value here. And Eva, where can we find your book, find more about you, share a little bit more?
Yeah, the book can be found on Amazon, and that's if you just Google my name and Owning Your Beauty, it'll come right up. It's also going to be found on my website's shop, and that website is on the ticker tape below. You'll see theelevateinstitute.com. And a really cool thing you can do if you're just curious what kind of serious illness is hiding in plain sight on my face, I have a free self-guided Chinese face reading that you can take right on the home page, and it can reveal to you if you do have something serious to go to the doctor for, go. But then also I ask you a series of questions to see if maybe there's additional help that I can provide to you, and you have an opportunity to connect with me after that if you so choose. But it's very easy to reach out.
Awesome. And I love how you say you're from Peru to Dubai. So
Yep.
there's something really looks like she's available, guys. So reach out, get some of that support. We are springing into this new part of the 2023 year. And so why not, instead of pushing things aside or feeling like you're too busy or reaching beyond that burnout point, reach out to Eva, grab a copy of the book, kind of see if there's something that resonates within your gut that feels like, I need to check this out. Please go ahead and check it out. There's nothing wrong with gathering in more information, because there are parts and pieces that match and fit with so many different things. And that's why we love to offer these types of opportunities of light and hope to so many out there, because she might be that key that has been missing, or the last puzzle piece that will finally complete things. And you look at it and go, wow, I have been trying for such a long time on my own and not knowing, or I did the Google search and now I'm lost. I'm on page 12 and I still can't get through it all. I don't know what else to do, right?
Yeah.
So there's so many things. Well, Eva, as we start to close this up tonight, if there's anything you would like to share with our audience this evening, please go ahead. You've got like last 2 minutes to just share your wisdom with us.
Well, I'll give you a story that of a client just recently started with me, because I already gave you my website in the free gift, so please do that. But this just tells you, if you've done a lot of work, especially spiritually, and you were hoping for physical changes to occur, that little last step that April was just talking about is more than likely just the mineral aspect of it, and then everything you've been working on will fall into place. And that's happened with individuals just recently. I've been working with, she had chronic pain for a very, very long time, very spiritually connected with her higher self, understanding her guides and her relationships with them. And she was wondering, why can't she get out of this chronic pain? And as soon as she started taking the supplements, the 12 years of chronic pain, within a couple of weeks, it was all gone.
Wow, fantastic. Pain is quite the motivator. And so when that can be eased, there's something really to it. Thank you so much for sharing that, because I know where chronic pain is that piece where it just will slowly eat away at your hope
Yes.
and your light,
Yeah.
because it is draining. And no matter how many times we put on the face and we try, at the end, if it's still just within that pain, it is tough. So everyone, go out there, get a copy of Owning Your Beauty, contact Eva, and find something, a way that can help you really find for yourself this match, this hope, some answers. And I really hope that you will go out and do that and give her that support today. Thank you, everybody, for being a part of the Beacon of Light podcast this evening. We are so excited to see you again next week. So pop in here again at 6:30 Mountain Daylight Time at this time. And so, again, thank you so much. Thank you, Eva.
Thanks for having me.
Bye-bye.